You're watching WHEI TV 10.
Student programming from the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
Hello and welcome back to the WHEI TV 10 studios located at the Media Communication Center here at Heidelberg University. I'm your charming host, Jimmy Flint, here alongside Dan Klisch. Dan, you changed really fast from that halftime show. You had the purple shirt on, now you got the green.
Yeah, well, I realized that purple was Capital colors, and then, that's probably not a good idea to be supporting Capital when I'm a Heidelberg student.
I'll give you that. Yeah. That's a fair excuse. So 43-10, the Student Princes leading right now here on homecoming. But Dan, you were down at the field during the first half. Tell me about the atmosphere.
The atmosphere is so great down there. It's loud. There's a lot of people there. There's no room in the stands for people to stand. There's groups with couches down there. There's groups with tents down there. Just go down and get to find out what everything's going on down there. It's really great, and it's a good time.
But first, stick around here because we have some highlights coming up here in a couple minutes. But first, before we get to those, let's talk about some of the key stats. I'll start off with the team stats, and then, Dan, you can tell us about some of the individuals that are shining today. For Heidelberg, though, they're actually getting outrushed, which this is the first time that's happened all year. Capital with 193 rush yards to Heidelberg's 118. But through the air, Heidelberg has been the superior team. 163 yards through the air to just 25 for Capital. They do run that triple option rush offense, so it's heavy run, maybe 80-20 run type of emphasis for them. Mm-hmm. But the total offense, 281 yards for Heidelberg to 218 for Capital. Dan, talk about some of the players who have really been stepping up today.
All right, well, today down at the field, Mike Meese has completed 50% of his passes, which is good. 8 for 16. He's got 151 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and his longest pass was 43 yards. Nate Hasse, surprisingly, is 1 for 100%. He's a receiver, but he has 12 yards passing. So
I have to guess that was probably the first pass he's thrown, but he holds down the extra points and field goals, and they did do a fake field goal, which at the end led to another Cartel Brooks touchdown, which was his third, and that's the perfect segue into Cartel.
Yeah, Cartel, he has 3 touchdowns, 92 yards on 13 attempts. He's leading the team in rushing, of course. Brian Lacey, as we talked about in the pregame show, is injured, so he's getting the carries. But freshman Jeffrey Helms is in for in that secondary position for him. So right now he only has 5 yards, but maybe towards the end of the game when everyone's starting to get tired, Jeff will step up and pound the ball through.
I think we'll see Jeff Helms there a little bit more in the second half. And you got to say, Cartel Brooks coming into this game, he actually leads the nation in yards per carry with 7.3 yards per carry. So, but anyway, that's going to wrap up our individual stats. Let's go ahead and get into the highlights and go ahead and roll the first highlight here. And this is the opening kickoff.
Okay.
And it's going to be Ryan
Fisher.
No, it's Nick DeLisa actually. Nick DeLisa here on the return, and he's going to cut right up the wedge. You can hear the call here by WTTF's John Kearns. And he's going to take that all the way to the house.
So that's what all that cheering was. And as I was heading down to the field, I was like, what's going on? And then this is what it was. I got down there, and Heidelberg was up 7-0 already. I was like, that's quite impressive.
That's a beautiful way to start the game.
Right, yeah.
And then after that, though, Capital is actually going to come back. Bo Hardy, their running back, and we'll go ahead and run that one.
30-yard line or just past it.
And this was a 69-yard carry as he gets behind the Heidelberg secondary and takes this one to the house, Dan.
Yeah, there's nobody out there that was able to catch him. That guy's fast. Secondary kind of didn't seem like they were trying all that hard, but maybe they just weren't fast enough.
It's all about discipline when you're defending a triple option team. And Bo Hardy showed some speed. He's got 6 carries for 88 yards. So that's an average of 14.7, sterling average. But the next 2 highlights we have, Heidelberg comes back, 7-7 score. From 9 yards out, this is going to be Cartel Brooks. A counter play off the right tackle. He just uses his speed, punches it in.
And he saw that vision. He had that hole there. And he took advantage of that hole.
And that's by design, Dan. They run that counter play, and it's set up with that pulling guard. And he just beat everyone to the outside. And then Cartel Brooks is going to punch in his second touchdown from 2 yards out here late in the first quarter, and that's going to make the score.
That's pure speed. There was no one getting to him, and he saw that hole, and it went right for it.
Yep, with the extra point, that made it 21-7, which then leads to this next highlight. And this is going to be a 30-yard field goal from the southpaw kicker here.
Yeah.
And that's actually Joey Riley, 30-yard field goal. That made it 21-10 at the time, but Heidelberg would answer once again.
Fourth down. So we're going him. Meese back to pass.
This is going to be Mike Meese on fourth down.
Touchdown, Volkey. No flags this time.
No flags,
On
yeah.
fourth down, jump ball on 4th and
Yep.
20 to Vokey, and it's going to be a 20-yard touchdown reception.
I actually was that pass happened right in front of my face because I was right in that end zone. And the number 2, I believe it was the safety for Capital, came across and thought he was going to get the ball, but got hit instead.
Yep, after that, Dan Kilger actually missed his first
I
extra
know,
point.
I know.
So many. But yeah, and next play actually is going to be the center for Capital gets a little too excited.
Right.
2 more points on the board for Heidelberg, and they will get the ball.
He
Muff punt.
snaps it right over the punter's head. That's going to be 29-10, and that will lead to our last highlight, another Mike Meese touchdown pass.
On the board. Meese will throw it. Fade route.
Fade route.
The fade. You can't beat the receiver on the fade. That cornerback or that D-back is always going to try to think he knows what the receiver's doing, and then he just fades away.
Yeah, you got to credit Mike Meese on that throw. He threw it to the back shoulder. That's how you teach the fade route.
Right.
He threw it right there. It was one-on-one. He had the cornerback in one-on-one coverage on an island. He threw a perfect ball to the back shoulder of Ryan Fisher. Fisher scores. That's Mike Meese's 16th touchdown of the season. We'll see if he maybe can tack onto that in the second half, Dan.
Yeah, another thing, too, is talking to a couple of fans down there at the field, and they're saying, though, that Mike Meese, he has all the time in the world to pass the ball, but he's holding on to the ball too long. And later on in the season, like when he gets to Mount Union or John Carroll or the better teams in the OAC, he's going to have a harder time keeping up or making sure that he's not going to throw these interceptions because these defenses are going to be all over that ball.
Sure, and I have to say 8 for 16, 50% passing for Meese.
Right.
It's pretty good, but you really would rather see him up near the 70% mark.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing I said coming into the season. You have to see improvement from Meese, and he showed the numbers against some of the weaker opponents, but we'll see if he can continue to do a better job, as you said, against the John Carrolls of the league, who, as we said in pregame, have only given up 7 points this season in 4 games. I'm not a math major, but that's under 2 points a game.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, we won't even get into the math on that one.
Yeah, we're comm majors. We don't really do the math
exactly.
thing. So Dan, we only have a couple minutes left in the halftime show, and we're going to send it back down to John Kearns and John Cullen for the play-by-play, and you can catch the rest of it on TV 10. We'll have one more game, by the way, on TV 10, and that's going to be the Mount Union game November 2nd, I believe it is.
Yes, it is.
And make sure, if you can't make it down to the stadium, be sure to tune in. Also want to give a special thanks to our news team. Dan, great job on the sports broadcast, and to Kate, Sam, Stacy, and all of our production crew. We appreciate all the hard work that they've been putting in, and we enjoyed seeing that halftime news show, kind of Heidelberg themed, kind of homecoming week themed, and pretty cool stuff. So, Dan, anything else from down at the field or anything that you've noticed that you think might carry on in the second half on the field?
Heidelberg is going to keep dominating the air. They got to watch out for that triple option, like you said. It's a hard thing to defend. In high school, I had to defend the triple option. It was a pain in the butt to defend that because you don't know which way the ball is going to go, and you don't know how fast these running backs are, the quarterback, the receiver, whatever the case may be. They're going to have to keep up with Capital on offense. Capital's going to keep on running the game. They don't have a passing game. Although their quarterback is 3 for 3. But that's only 25 yards.
Right. I mean, Chase Longwell, he's more of a running quarterback, and I have to credit Heidelberg's defense. They've held him to just 19 yards on 12 carries, so that's under 2 yards a carry.
Right.
And a special shout-out, we've only got like 30 seconds left, but special shout-out on the defense. Mitch Kelly, a player I named before the game, leading Heidelberg with 9 tackles right now, and Andy Sieving has 2 sacks, Ryan Malloy and Ben Poyer each with a sack. So 4 sacks for the Heidelberg defense. But, Dan, that's going to wrap us up pretty much. You have any final words? You got 5 seconds.
Hey, let's get back down to the game, enjoy the atmosphere, and go Berg.
Right, you only get one homecoming a year, so make sure and enjoy it. Heidelberg students, alumni, faculty, and staff. Thanks to Robin, and thank you to Nathan in the back for running everything. Let's send it back down to the field for the second half of action. 43-10 Heidelberg.
You're watching WHEI TV 10.
Student programming from the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
T.J. Morrison, I believe.